So what do we actually do about our autistic child's stimming? So what we do about or how we respond to a stimming behavior is not usually about the behavior itself, but about the reason behind the behavior. So the four reasons why autistic people stim: for self-soothing, self-regulating, expressing emotions, and coping with emotions. These give you direction as to what you should actually do about the stimming. So let's look at each reason for stimming individually. So if your child is stimming because they're self-soothing or self-regulating, that is good. Most self-soothing stims are nice and calm, and it's a sign that your child is having coping mechanisms or coping skills to help them. And that is a lifelong skill. I have self-regulating and self-soothing stims, and I've got those tools in my toolbox. I can pull them out to help myself in these situations. And so helping your child, setting them up to be able to do that, is setting them up for success in their entire life. But if your child is constantly doing a self-soothing stim, they're doing this all the time, or if while they're stimming, they don't respond to anyone or anything, that is a clue that there is a sensory stressor present. There is something that is making them feel pain or discomfort, and that is causing them to stim. So if their stimming is getting in the way of living a normal life, this is a sign that something is wrong. We seek to fix what is wrong, not stop the stimming. So if your child is rocking back and forth constantly 24/7, making them stop rocking back and forth isn't actually going to solve the problem. They're still going to be uncomfortable. They're still going to be in pain. You might recall from our therapy lesson that we want to fix the root of problems, not just stop their outside expression. So if stimming is interfering with life, we have to figure out why they are stimming so often. What is making them so stressed out or so uncomfortable that is causing them to do that? And once we figure out what that is, then we can add enrichments or make accommodations to make things better. Right. So if your child is stimming to express emotions, that is amazing. We might even encourage this type of stimming: art, dance, etc. So some sources, though, will tell you to encourage your child to not outwardly stim because it makes other people uncomfortable. And this is I'll just use like hand flapping as an example. I am a hand flapper. I express joy by flapping my hands and bouncing around. And yeah, that is kind of strange sometimes for a woman in her 30s. People will be like, what is she doing? But this is something that is important to me. And the reason why it's important to me is because it's natural. It's how I naturally express joy. When I am feeling that wonderful positive emotion bubble up in me, this is just what my body does. So I read an article once that was published, by a normally very respectable organization that says that you should stop your child from flapping their hands because it makes other people uncomfortable. So, but just imagine this. What if every single time you felt huge and intense joy and happiness, somebody told you to stop because you're making others uncomfortable? What if you were told that the way you feel happiness and joy is wrong? Would you feel a lot of happiness and joy often after that? Sure, it is true that kids who do these things could get made fun of or bullied, but there are ways that we can strengthen ourselves and our children so that they are completely comfortable with themselves, and these sorts of negative opinions from other people don't hurt as much or don't matter as much to us. We will definitely go over more of this in our 5th area of success, social culture and interactions, as well as in our 9th area of success, advocacy. Right, so is stimming always a good thing? I keep talking about how stimming is great. I tell you to encourage stimming. So is this always a good thing? And so we'll go over harmful stimming and other self-harming behaviors in their own section. Those things like biting or hitting or maybe picking skin so much you get scabs, those get their own section. All right. So most of the time, stimming is important and necessary. Sometimes, however, individual stimming behaviors can cause some issues. Some behaviors are it's annoying or you don't want to be around them. So like if your child is singing or humming all the time, especially if you yourself have sensory sensitivities, that could be really difficult to live with. So our solution to that is balancing sensory needs. So we've got a whole section on balancing sensory needs, and that will give you practical strategies for ensuring that your autistic child can stim healthily, and other people in your household don't necessarily have to put up with annoying stuff. So other times, stimming can start to interfere with daily life, preventing an individual from doing the things that they need to do. So in these cases, rule out a medical need for the stimming, such as needing to self-soothe because of pain caused by an unrelated condition, like a headache, an ear infection, a stomach ache or something. Those can cause a lot of self-soothing stims. So rule out a cause for medical reasons. But then if there's no medical reason, we've got our challenging behaviors troubleshooter that will help you figure out what they're actually needing at that time and what you can do about it. So in the worst cases, stimming is self-harming. Minorly harmful activities like skin picking, all the way up to self-injury. So this needs to be handled delicately and is something that often needs the help of an occupational therapist or another therapist who is really well versed in handling self-harm. So redirecting the stim to something that provides similar sensory input but isn't harmful is one thing that we can do. And so we've got some more information about that in our less pleasant and harmful stimming behaviors chapter. All right, so stimming. Here's the summary. Our all-purpose sensory enrichment. Stimming is a movement, a thought, or a sound that is repetitive and done in order to self-stimulate. Autistic people stim for 4 reasons. Most people stim, but autistic people stim more intensely, more often, and in order to self-soothe, express emotions, cope with emotions, or self-regulate. Stimming is a natural and healthy part of normal autistic child development. This is a tool that your child can use to live and thrive every day and be successful throughout their life. Annoying or unpleasant stimming can be accommodated by balancing sensory needs, see that lesson, and stimming that is harmful, hurts, or interferes with daily life will require accommodations.